Hello there, you awakening wonders, you great souls, you firewalkers. While the rest of the world is trying to close down free speech, we are advocating for even more of it and granting it even to other species, like the hound. I will not free the nipple, 709er. I will not. The nipple will remain in its own private Belmarsh, like a Julian. There will be no nippy leaks. It will remain ensnared and in jail. And Carl Rhino in the Rumble chat, why is Russell late? He's still talking to his MI6 handlers. After what I've been through, you still controlled opposition. Baby, they're trying to control me, and it ain't working. We are going strong. Later, we're going to be talking about how Tucker and Glenn Greenwald have been talking about censorship from the right, and how the left now are demanding free speech. It's been another old switcheroo. As these conflicts escalate, as the Omni crisis devours more people, as division is created and fracture is cleaved where once there was an emergent new union, you're seeing people switching sides. Rioto says, yeah, my dog is pretty cute. If you want to join us in the Rumble chat, join us in the Rumble chat. If you're watching us on YouTube, you'll have to join us eventually, because the day will come where YouTube just simply will not allow free speech. That day ain't here yet. And if you're one of our awakened wonders watching there, we love you. If you want to support our content, press the red button, become an awakened wonder like Maximatias 444. My dog is cuter, he's saying. Primal Collins talking about how will the Aussies deal with the new mask mandates. We're covering that in a minute, but we will not be able to cover that on YouTube because Australian news media, they took a swerve, because you know how heavy they got during the pandemic times. Well, they the news media and the medical establishment ain't taking no more of it. Remember, download the Rumble app, if you ain't got it yet, because then you'll get proper notifications and you'll be here from the start. I think it's you that's late. KRG 0516. Press this for the nips. You are getting no nips. You've had your nips. You've had your last look at these, because we are staying poised and dignified on Rumble, and I'll show you now. Rumble's not what it's purported to have been. You won't believe how many Democrats and independents are on this site. Chris Pavlovsky posted, he's the geezer that started Rumble. He's posted about that earlier today. We'll cover it in a minute. But Congress is falling apart. It's one thing to see Trump riling him up at the UFC, but to hear talk of actual fisticuffs in Congress, or is it the Senate? You'll love this. It's the Senate. You'll love this. I'm into this.
Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Consenting adults as well. That's what you say before a fight. So you can't just have a fight, can you, in the Senate? But this dude, Mullin, he's ready to go. Check it.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Mullin v. O'Brien. Who's the smart man here? I'm saying Mullin. I'll tell you why Mullin. Watch Mullin with a ring. This ain't his first rodeo. He's been through this before. O'Brien, he's staying down. O'Brien, you stay down.
Is that your solution, every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Actively.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond, Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it.
That's enough of that. You better stop that. Not on my Senate. Oh, no, you don't. I've changed my positions on wars. I've changed my position on the financial industry. But I will not sanction this fight. Bernie's committed, baby.
Hold it. If
Hold
we
on.
can't... No,
This is
I have
what
the
he
mic.
said.
I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. There's...
And I respond, it's just been offered out. Proper offer for a row. Amazing, amazing. Like, do you see that just below the surface of the obfuscating language, the diplomacy, the idea... Right, think about this, January 6th. How dare they? How dare they storm the Capitol? That is where we have our bare-knuckle fights. That's where we run our corruption from. That's where I get my money from Pfizer. The idea that you would come in there with those zip ties. Nancy Pelosi's in there right now, not telling her husband which stocks and shares to invest in. I'll tell you that. The idea that there's any sanctity, it's a veneer, it's a performance, it's disintegrating, and apparently it's pretty common, because Tim Burchett is also saying that, I think it was Kevin McCarthy, UK elbowed him in the ribs. It's like something from Huckleberry Finn. It's like Mark Twain violence. He came up to me, he tricked me into painting the fence, then he elbowed me in my back ribs.
Explain to us what happened with you and Kevin McCarthy.
Well, I was doing an interview with Claudia from NPR, a lovely lady, and when she was asking me a question, and at that time I
was with Aunt May.
Got elbowed in the back, and it kind of caught me off guard because it was a clean shot to the kidneys, and I
was embarrassed. That was a clean shot to the kidneys. I'm pretty good. Usually I can protect my kidneys. I can wind around with a side wind, and I would have been there in the Adam's apple.
Turned back, and there was Kevin, and I for a minute I was kind of, what the heck?
Kevin, that little snake, he's snooping around the back.
Just happened, and then I chased after him, of course.
Of course I did. I pursued him overland on foot.
As I've stated many times, he's a bully with $17 million in a security detail. He's the type of guy that, when you're a kid, would throw a rock over the fence and run home and hide behind his mama's skirt. And
he's behind his mama's skirt right now, threw a rock over the wall. What is this mad Wonder Years violence?
Just, he
the Speaker of the House. That's the third most important political figure. Of course, many of you are saying in the chat over on Rumble, it's because it's a charade, it's because it's a performance, and this is merely the revelation of the ulterior reality. An ulterior reality we're protected from seeing.
From behind, that kind of stuff. That's not the way we handle things in East Tennessee. If we have a problem with somebody, I'm going to look them in the eye and talk to them.
Okay, so he walked.
Look them in the eye and talk to them in East Tennessee. That's what I do. Extraordinary, amazing. In our country, the UK, you've heard of it, right? We, when we're not happy with our Prime Minister, that's our president, and we never are because they're always some sort of joke. This one, Rishi Sunak, he's crazy. He's only been doing it about 2 weeks. He's ruined it already. He's had to have 6, when they're displeased, his colleagues, the other members of his party, they write letters of no confidence. He's had 6 letters of no confidence. We have no confidence in you, none whatsoever. Please back your ideas up. Not elbows in the ribs or a smack in the mouth. He's had 6 letters of no confidence, but he has also had a fruit basket from Moderna, thanking him for his wonderful time when he funded Moderna through his hedge fund and through the many Moderna employees that have come via the government. There's 2 or 3 now. Curious, really. Used to work for the government, now work at Moderna. Extraordinary how that sort of stuff keeps happening. And without independent media... You wouldn't know nothing about it. I wouldn't know nothing about it without other brave, bold voices in independent media from across the spectrum, the daddy of them all, our Joe Rogan. But, whether you like them or not, Jimmy Dore, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, from across the whole spectrum. You might disagree with some of these people, but what we want, Tucker, world king. What you want are voices that will openly discuss this stuff, and where they're going to increasingly be doing it is on Rumble. Look at this surprising information. Pavlovsky, the head of Rumble, he said, look, they've broke down. We're using, I guess it's a computer company. They've got the data. 21% of people using Rumble are Republicans, 35% Democrat. That can't be right, can it? 28% independent. I'm guessing you lot are independent, right? We're sick of the system. No affiliation, 12%. Yep, that's me. I'm in that category. So there you go. That's it. It's surprising, isn't it, that Rumble breaks down in that kind of way. And a lot of people are trying to censor free speech, and particularly in online spaces, even more fervidly than ever. Nikki Haley, who you know Nikki Haley anyway. She loves the war and she loves the profit. And she loves getting gnarly with Vivek, don't she, on the TV set? And she don't like people having her daughter's name by her mouthhole. Do not mention my daughters on TikTok. She's also now saying that TikTok needs to be controlled, and she wants an end to online anonymity. But online anonymity, as well as, of course, it does permit trolling and stuff like that, but it also allows people to make revelations. It permits whistleblowers. Think about during the COVID pandemic period. Many of the people denied anonymity that reported stuff that we now know is factual would not have had the opportunity to anonymously report their information. Look at what Nikki Haley's proposing. And also, look at how she talks about algorithms. I don't think she knows what algorithms are.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do, social media accounts, social media companies, they have to show America their algorithms. Let us see why they're pushing what they're pushing. The second thing is every person on social media should be verified by their name.
These are made up laws like people make up without thinking about it, isn't it?
That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say, and it gets rid of.
Good luck criticizing the establishment. Now we know where you live. We're surveilling you anyway. That's why C-702 is being reintroduced. Section 702. It's coming back, baby. We'll be surveilling you. You're being surveilled now. Legitimate surveillance of American citizens using terrorism, global terrorism, as the justification for spying on American citizens. It's been going on since 9/11. It continues still.
The Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots.
There's different bots. You got Chinese bots, Iranian bots, Russian bots. I quite like the Chinese bots. Those Russian bots, you can't trust them. They try to maneuver the other bots and they meddle in their elections.
And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say.
Accountability.
And they know their pastor and their family members going to see it. It's going to help our kids and it's going to help our country.
Yeah, where do you live, man? What year are you living in where people are sort of worried about their pastor and that? Society's falling apart. You broke it. You annihilated it. It's not some sort of cute little village no more. White picket fences, people concerned about their neighbours. That society was broken down when all of us were turned into mind-numb, mindless consumers with no connection to one another, turned towards hating one another senselessly, mindlessly, by career politicians that don't understand the consequences of their actions, that are willing to use liberal language when it's appropriate, but never met a country they didn't want to drone. Here she is. It's Hillary Clinton talking about Douglas Mackey. Now, you know Douglas Mackey. He's got a 7-month prison sentence for posting memes. Obviously, the framing of this was that it was election interference. But does anyone really think you can text a vote? I mean, you can't make any impact on democracy if you actually bother to vote, you know, let alone if you start texting it into cyberspace. Have a look at this. This is, do we include the bit with Tucker? Tucker's chatting to that dude, Douglas Mackey, that's going away for 7 months for posting memes. This is what we're talking about, online freedom. This is what we're talking about, that dissent is being criminalized. It's being criminalized. If you speak out consistently against real power, you are in serious trouble. Douglas Mackey, 7-month prison sentence. And here's Hillary Clinton normalising this. There we just saw Nikki Haley from the other party saying there should be no online anonymity. Look at how this stuff all ties together.
There was just a trial in Brooklyn where a guy who had been one of the main, I guess he was one of the main people running memes against me in 2016.
One of the main memers, the main running memes against me in 2016. If they had run a meme against you in 2016, it probably would have won.
He went from what you could consider free speech. I mean, both Nancy and I have pretty thick skins.
I would say reptilian.
People say all kinds of things about us. But he went from that to running a very deliberate effort to mislead people about where and how to vote. Yeah. So it went from speech to action meant to subvert the election because thousands of people who they targeted through their algorithms, I can text my vote for Hillary Clinton.
So Hillary Clinton, I want to deconstruct that in some greater detail in a minute, but
Pause. Hey, you come in and fix this thing. I've pressed the wrong button on this. This is not you, viewers. You stay with us. So, can you see how the normalization of censorship is continuing? Can you see that the incarceration of someone for posting text this number if you want to vote for Hillary, which was apparently happening, thanks, mate, young Putin there. He looks like young Putin. He doesn't agree with his policies. That invasion was provoked by NATO, as a matter of fact. He would never have crossed that border had NATO not for ages been ignoring his demand that Crimea remain independent. Hey, so what I'm saying there is that that plainly free speech is becoming criminalized. Wherever you look, there is more legislation that legitimizes censorship. There are people being imprisoned for posting memes. There's a cry to get rid of online anonymity. All of these measures essentially facilitate centralized control, wouldn't you say? So here's how the mainstream, the legacy media are cynical when it comes to reporting from independent media, but compliant when legacy media uptakes it. This is a story about Iran and
there are speculations on social
and a sort of a $10 billion. Well, you'll see from the video.
Media that the U.S. is about to waive issue a new waiver on Iran that will allow Iran to access $10 billion. Why, when, how? Anything you can tell us?
I think you certainly shouldn't expect me to comment on speculation on social media, and I will decline to do so. Go ahead, and then we'll wrap it up.
Is it true, though?
I think I just answered it, or declined to answer it.
Oh, we're not having that. And there's a distinction between social media and independent media, I would say. Like, we try to do our very best to ensure that the information we give you is undergirded by decent facts. We fact check it and not the kind of Reuters fact checking that's got curious financial ties, or the Facebook fact checking that ultimately appears to be funded in unusual ways. We'll be telling you more about that over the coming weeks. And yeah, sure enough, the next day, legacy media report Biden admin renews sanctions waiver, giving Iran access to $10 billion from Iraq. Extraordinary, given the escalating tensions. It's almost as if war, from all angles, is beneficial to the truly powerful interests. Meanwhile, independent media is further censored. Like Mint Press, which is a sort of a UK-based online media organisation, has been demonetised by YouTube, presumably because they've said something about the current conflict in the Middle East that whoever runs YouTube don't agree with. And remember that YouTube are part of the Trusted News Initiative that includes the BBC, Facebook, a group that decide when something is disinformation and misinformation, the same way that YouTube used the WHO to provide their community guidelines when it comes to health matters. The Trusted News Initiative ensure compliance in other areas. Hey, we're still on YouTube right now, so I shouldn't be being so critical, because I am grateful. I'm grateful to all of you that are watching on that platform, but I do need to ask you to join us over on Rumble. You've just seen now, in spite of what you've been told, it's not just like a sort of a crackpot lunatic hellhole for denizens of the conspiracy theory world, although we do like to discuss the odd conspiracy theory. Chief 411 says free speech is becoming criminalized. I'm not your buddy guy. A $2 tip there. Did you see the FBI leak where they're classifying anyone who questions vaccines, refuse to wear a mask, or religious as far-right extremists? I said it before and I said it again, and I'll say it again, they're commies. That's nice. Thanks for the couple of dollars. Kate Lesker, that hat is driving my attention deficit disorder nuts. Is it new? Is it fleece? It looks fuzzy. I like the neutral colour with the blue accent. You will never know the details of my complex hat. That is the simple truth of the matter. Now, we're going to talk in a minute about that manhunt that took place after someone was alleged to have assaulted a police officer on January the 6th. They go for it, man. There's like about 4 or 5 agencies hunting this dude. Also, someone commented earlier, you wanted to see about the return of mask mandates in Australia. The legacy media over there are not having it. If you're watching us on YouTube, come on over. Come on over to the home of free speech. It's a truly independent space. No affiliation. New movements. Independent media leads to independent politics, which leads to revolution and change. I mean, peaceful, of course. We would not advocate violence, not under any circumstances. In fact, our opposition to war is absolute. Self-protection, yes, under all circumstances, but aggression, oh man, where's it going to lead? Okay, so if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Join us. Join us over here, over on Rumble. Now,